My name is Marguerite Guzman Bouvard. I've written about 11 books of poetry and a lot of books on social justice and human rights. And I'm here today to read you just 4 poems about racism and how we respond, because many people think that this is something new. The first poem I'm going to read is about the time that a white supremacist by the name of Dylan Roof, a young man, went into a black church and killed 9 parishioners. Emmanuel African Methodist Church. The parishioners, who were torn by grief, are holding hands in the aisles and embracing each other in the courtroom, forgiving the white man who stares blank-faced in silence, who wanted to maim their congregation with a gun, killing 9, and are united by the light of their love and faith. For their church has a long history. The path started in a dark wood by Denmark Vesey in 1822. A slave whose road to hope was studded by nails and ended up in a noose. The glow of fires that burned so many black churches, sparked by hatred and ignorance. Vesey's life was a word that remained in the ashes and rubble and in the hymns throughout centuries, in the radiant souls who trek through their history with the loss of their loved ones, the shackles of cruelty and violence, yet their light has not dimmed within a world that refuses to honor our diversity. My next poem is about a child, Tamir Rice. He was just a 12-year-old boy playing with a toy gun, perched on a swing, free from school, lost in his thoughts and dreams, enjoying the moment. He was just a boy. I remember telling my son that he couldn't have a toy gun, so he picked up a stick saying, "Bang, bang." But it wasn't the toy that Trump was playing with. He, who wished no harm to anyone, had a mother who loved him, cousins who lived a few blocks away. But the color of his skin that made the policeman shoot him until he died. Do we really believe the Creator is only white? Have we never seen an unexpected rainbow after the rain shower? Some of us wonder why ignorance so often wins. But there is a small place in the park where Tamir stood that will always be there. An invisible spot that is holy because it holds the innocence of a child who had a heart, a soul, and a family that loved him. A never-ending story. Late morning on a mountain slope in the middle of summer, where the only sounds are the back and forth twittering of birds, where clusters of billowing white clouds spell more sunshine and remain suspended as if time were frozen and silence was a part of the world we live in. Not the crowded streets where Eric Garner died in a police chokehold for selling cigarettes, or that car that was stopped by the police for a supposedly broken taillight, and while Philando Castile reached in his pocket for his driver's license, fell back, dripping with blood, in front of his girlfriend and her 4-year-old daughter. Love and hatred intertwined. The love of a 4-year-old girl saying, "Mommy, it's going to be okay." And the inner enemy of hatred, wanting mirrors to reflect only oneself, to own the streets, strip them of different skin colors, the darkness of disdain, and the light in a little child's tender voice. This is the last poem I'll read, and I want to thank the journalists and everyone who carries a cell phone, because it changed the way we look at the world. The histories we carry. There are actions and images that carry a wealth of stories which evoke so many differences. The 2 men wearing police uniforms and cowboy hats in Galveston, Texas, wear the cloaks of oppression and ideology as they guide their horse's bridle with one hand and use the other to pull a black man they arrested by a rope tied around his hands, evoking a long history of slavery. The man who was mentally ill and slept outside was not a threat, but the president of the municipal police reacted by saying, "Officers are expected to follow departmental guidelines," and they did just that. And denial will always divide us, creating too many doors that slam inside ourselves.